Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of my vlog. Now a while ago I did this piece on my blog whereby I invited my readers to ask me any questions they liked and I would try to answer them in this YouTube format. Now I did not expect my readers to actually ask some really serious questions. And I felt that some of those questions I really couldn't do justice to in this format. Sorry to those of you whose questions weren't picked. I promise I'll give you a reply on my blog. But today I'm just going to answer 5 of those questions. So the first question is from my reader Choaniki, who asks, there is a stereotype that UK food is usually tasteless. So what do you usually eat? Well, that's a good question. It is true that British cuisine tends to be very bland, and that is a feature of Northern European cuisine. As to what I usually eat, I tend to eat at home a lot. I cook for myself a lot. I love cooking. My cooking involves a lot of very fresh ingredients, so we are talking about lots of salads, lots of fresh fruits, meat that is eaten in a healthy way that's grilled. When I eat out, it usually means fast food. When I am having a very busy day, when I am needing to grab something on the go. So fast food in the UK isn't really that imaginative, I'm afraid. We're talking about burgers, fried chicken is eaten a lot, pizzas. One of the better options if you're in the UK and you need fast food is a kebab. Now we're talking about a Turkish or a Lebanese, Middle Eastern style kebab. There are lots of kebab shops all over the UK. They are very popular with the locals, and you will be able to get quite an interesting meal that is at least not totally bland, because if you go to a proper Turkish kebab shop run by Turkish people, they know how to make a kebab taste really good. So if you're in the UK, find a kebab shop. Okay, on to the second question. Unknown wants to know, do you have any insights on the arts-media industry in Singapore? I'm currently studying digital media design in a polytechnic, and I'm really conflicted if I should continue to pursue a career bracket like a freelancer. Okay, that is a rather tough question, and I'm not sure if you're going to like what I have to say. If you are studying digital media, you need to be first and foremost based in a city where you can get enough work. So if you are doing some kind of post-production, be it for, say, the music industry or for television, for movies or for websites, then if you are based in London, now we have the BBC here in London churning out media content that is consumed throughout the English-speaking world. A high-profile British film, say the James Bond series, is watched by audiences all around the world. So if you are in London and you are working in digital media, you have a huge industry which is based at your doorstep requiring your services. And as for Singapore, ask yourself this: how many Singaporean TV programs are ever viewed outside Singapore? Hardly any. Malaysia, if you're very lucky. How many Singaporean movies are actually shown on the big screen in, say, California, in Australia, in India, in Russia, in Japan? That simply does not happen. The problem with working in your industry in Singapore is that you are serving a very local market. Content produced in Singapore is pretty much catering for a very small local market. And that market in Singapore is not even that captive. Singaporeans like to watch Hollywood movies from America. I'm being very practical here. The amount of work that you are going to get as a freelancer working in digital media is going to be fairly limited. So you need to think about whether you can put food on the table. Can you afford to raise a family with that kind of freelance lifestyle where work is intermittent? You don't know where your next contract is coming from. You don't know when you will work again, or if you will be busy for the next 6 months, or you will be having to do something else like give tuition to make ends meet. It is not going to be easy, but if it is your passion, if it's what you really enjoy, I would say speak to your peers and speak to people already working in the industry in Singapore and try to get more insight about what their perspectives are, what their experiences are, especially from a very practical point of view when it comes to money. I'm sorry I don't have any easy answers for you, but I hope I've given you plenty of food for thought. Okay, the next question comes from Herman Toh, who wants to know, how do you deal with wrist sprains, in particular for gymnastics? Now, I really like that question because this wrist is so injured. Now, firstly, it is very important for you to warm up your wrists before any gymnastics activity. Think about what exercises you could do to make sure you warm the wrists up very well before doing anything, for putting your body weight on your wrists. And there are plenty of stretching exercises you can do to increase the flexibility and mobility of your wrists. Do not neglect those. There are also exercises you can do to strengthen the muscles in your forearm so that your arm, that whole forearm and including the wrist joint in general, is a lot stronger when it comes to being able to take your body weight. Are you getting the wrist injury because of a certain kind of bad technique you are doing that's putting the weight in the wrong area? I'm not saying that all wrist injuries are caused by bad technique, but it is a possible cause. So have a chat with your coach as well as your fellow teammates to see if they can spot any bad technique that you are guilty of during training, fix the bad technique, and see if that improves your wrist condition. And lastly, of course, as with all injuries, you need to rest that wrist. Go find something else that you can do, that you can train, that does not aggravate the wrist injury. And of course, if it doesn't heal, please go see a doctor and seek professional advice. Right, on to our next question, which is from Delia. Delia Toe wants to know, could you share your experience when you first entered the working world, in particular how you transitioned from a university environment to a work environment, whether you committed any mistakes such as burning bridges, etc., how you learned from them? She goes on and on. Very interesting question. I think I'm just going to focus on one issue with regards to the early stages of my working life after I finished university. I think I was a little naive when I first entered the working world, in that I tried really hard to get along with everyone. Perhaps I was so excited, I've got a good job in a good company in London, and I'm turning up in this very beautiful office in the city, and I really wanted to make connections, network. I said, oh, you never know, some of these people may be the CEOs of tomorrow. And unfortunately, I was naive like that for too long throughout my first two jobs. And by the time I went into my third job, I reverted back into what I would term my army mode, i.e., I have to work with you, I don't have to like you. If you like me, that's great. But that doesn't mean that just because you like me, I'm going to like you. I'll like you if you're nice. If you're not, screw you. I'm here to make money, not friends. And that has very much been my modus operandi since my third job. And I realized that I don't have to like the people I work with. I don't have to get along with them beyond maintaining a basic civil working relationship where everyone is professional, everyone is polite. My place in the company is secured. My value to the company, what I bring to the table, is based entirely on my work performance and not so much on whether so-and-so likes me or if I'm going to hang out with so-and-so during the weekend. Screw that, It's not worth it. Okay, our last question comes from a reader called Sundari, and she wrote me a really long letter. And I'm just going to summarize. Basically, her daughter is considering applying for a scholarship and is in a privileged position to be able to do so with quite a high chance of succeeding. Now, she's worried about committing her daughter's future to a certain path for 3 years at university, possibly 1 year for extra year for a master's degree, along with an 8-year bond to serve for the scholarship. So By signing on the dotted line in accepting that scholarship offer, she is committing to a set path for her daughter for the next 12 years. So she's a little bit worried about whether or not that would be the right choice. What if her daughter decides to do something different? Being bonded because of that scholarship will not give her the option to do so. Now, I've thought long and hard about this. There are pros and cons to both sides of the argument, but definitely there are far more pros than cons. Accept the scholarship, for crying out loud. The prestige will set her off on a great path towards success, and you need some kind of work experience as a young person. Even if you have a great degree from a very good university, you may find it quite hard as a young person to get a good job these days. Now, it's one thing to be able to say, I want to be a doctor, an architect, an engineer, an accountant. You can decide what career path you would like to do, what your dream job would be, but whether or not you can actually get that dream job is another matter altogether. You can do everything you can to get the right qualifications, get internships, to get the right work experience, but there's just no guarantee that you will get the job that you want. So in accepting that scholarship, you are taking that uncertainty out of the equation, and the first job is already guaranteed. I can't stress how important that is, because after you have accumulated some interesting, noteworthy, valuable work experience, moving on to the next step, even if it means climbing a different career ladder, as long as you have proven yourself in one field as a worthy person to employ, then it becomes a lot easier for you to change jobs or get a better job, get a new job much later in your life. And Mrs. Sundari wouldn't have to worry about paying through her nose for her daughter to get a degree from a very good university in the UK or the US. It's a no-brainer. Go for the scholarship, for crying out loud. Okay, so that's it from me, and I hope you have enjoyed this vlog post. Do keep your questions coming in. I enjoy reading those questions and trying to answer them. So that's it from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.